Afternoon, my people. Good afternoon, my daddies. Good afternoon, my uncles. My name is Emmanuel Joseph. Okay, a member of YAUP missions. Okay, YAUP is Youth Adopt Unreach People missions. And here we are at GIST. GIST is one of our cardinal programs is Global Ignite Strategy Training. Okay, where we come and ignite people for the work of God. Okay, meet with youth and see how these youths can also key into what God is doing. We've had seasoned people, seasoned missionaries in our midst for the past few days. It's a 1 week long experience, and then they were going to be having 2 days a practical experience on the field. So we don't want it to be head knowledge alone. We want it that after they've gotten this knowledge, they can apply it into the world. Okay, they can apply it into the world, and it's really been an awesome experience. We have one of our daddy in our midst. Okay, but going on to this show, I won't be the only one. I have a very close partner that we're going to walk you through this journey of Jesus together. So I'd like my partner to introduce himself.
Kwara Matthew, Christ Apostolic Church Missionary Officer. To the glory of God, we are here in 2024 GIST. GIST means Global Impact Strategy Training, organized by YAUP, that is Youth Adopted Unreach People, to mobilize youth to give them the adequate information they need in order to complete the task given to us by our master. Let's remember that book of Matthew chapter 24. It said, until the gospel is preached all over, the ends will not come. Though we are clamoring that the Lord should come, Maranatha, but up to this moment, there are some land for us to cover, as Joshua told Caleb. So we are here to equip youth in this conference. Here, to the glory of God, I'm not alone. I'm with a lot of seasoned missionaries in the field to equip the youth. Not we are acting a script. The script is written by God, but we are acting. And I pray we will not lose our place in Jesus' name.
Wow, thank you very much, Pastor Matthew. Yes, it's been an interesting outing for the past few days. And we have here in our midst 22 youths. Okay, 22 youths, and this is drawn out from young school leavers. We have young school leavers, we have artisans, and we have even undergraduates and graduates. Okay, those that have lived the university here to be equipped for the Lord's work. To be equipped for the Lord's work. You also can join us. Okay, you can also partner with us. Like I said, this program is empowered by YAUP Missions, Youth Adopt Unreach People Missions. And our mandate is to see that youth are being ignited. Youth are seeing their place in God's story. Youths are seeing their place in God's story and seeing and coming into character as to what the Lord will have them do. Please join us as we go on this journey. Like I said, we have our daddy in our midst who we're going to be introducing to you. Okay, our daddy has had more than 28 years experience in missions itself, going to many African countries, preaching the gospel, and he also happens to be a civil servant. Yes, he's a very interesting personality. I'm here with a very important personality, one of our daddy in the Lord, and he has been with us here at Elim Center for GISTS, which is Global Ignite Strategy Training. And daddy has been with us right from Monday, young people training us, and it's really been an awesome experience with our daddy. You know what I mean? So before I go further, I'd like daddy to introduce himself so that we will get to know him better.
Ajayi Olatunbosun Abiodun is my name. I am the Kwara State Chairman for the Nigeria Evangelical Mission Association.
Nema. That's very well.
Nema, yes.
Yes. Our daddy is the Nema chairman for Kwara State. And Nema is an evangelical movement that seeks to raise people and carry out the great commission the Lord has given unto us, starting from Matthew chapter 28, from verse 19. And Daddy, as the Lord has placed his mandate in his hand with a team of executive to see that even in Kwara, we are not left behind in not just being a mission field, but also being a mission force. So, but Daddy, how has been your experience with the youth here for these past few days, sir?
Well, I want to bless the name of the Lord that Gist is coming up, and I have been around since Monday. I can see the mighty hand of the Lord upon these youth. They are very cooperative, they are very calm, receptive, ready to learn, ready to take corrections, and they have been conforming with all the rules and regulations as pertaining the camp engagement. So I want to say that they are a special crop, they are a special species in the hand of God, and I want to believe that if well impacted, they are going to make a lot of difference even among their youthful age.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, sir, we've noticed the very little amount of youth in missions itself. Okay, and our fathers are getting older, and soon they will be passing on the baton to the next generation. So, I want to know, how can the youths be ignited? How can they catch these visions? You see, our fathers, most of them have run the race for long, and soon most of them are leaving the scene. They are leaving the scene. So how can we pick up the younger generation? We also can pick the same passion you have, seeing there's a lot of other distractions.
Well, I want to say that want to first and foremost thank the organizers of this program for thinking it deep to go into the life to recruit youth, for to ignite youth for global impact. One of the greatest mistakes we have been making in the church setting is our inability to carry along the youth in leadership, to bring them up, to put them in position of leadership, at least under training, that they will be able to take over from us. Another second very important reason is in those days when the mission schools were available, many of the elders, daddies that you see waxing strong in the mission endeavor went to mission schools. Today, those mission schools have been handed over to the government, and because of that, the nitty-gritty of the Christian faith, which we were supposed to inculcate for these children, to this youth to imbibe, has been missing. There is a strong missing link on that note. And the FCS, as we have it today, that covers all the fellowship of Christian students in both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, have not been very, very effective, in the sense that most of the students, they are the ones just running the affairs. The elders are no longer there. The teachers are not available for the FCS to inculcate the issue of Christian faith into the life of these young children. I want to say that we will still need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, go back to the church, because I know that the church is the instrument that which God has laid in our hands to recruit men for the assignment. And I want to believe that if the church will become more active in raising youth department, the children department, raising them and inculcating the ministry of mission into imparting them into it, then it will help. Just like we recruit choir from the children, from the teenagers, from the youth and from the adult church, we should start thinking of also in inculcating or setting up a department of missions, both for the children, for the youth, for the teenagers, and for the adults, so that it can be integrated. The spirit of mission would have been in the heart of the children from their very teenage, from their very youthful age, that they will be able to grow with it. Some of us were fortunate to have attended churches where we have missionaries that are serving in these churches. I remember Lois Fuller, Sister Lois Fuller has now moved to Canada. Some of us had to learn under her. She was a white lady who was in Nigeria for many years before she finally moved back. So I want to believe that if departments of missions are integrated to carry along the small children and others, then it will be a very good means of raising more youth. And another thing is that most churches, denominations, churches, don't have missionaries that they can boast of and say, okay, this is our own raised missionaries from our church or from our denomination. If that had been, it would have been a very good example for others to learn and say, oh, we can see brother so, we can see sister so. She was a missionary in the church. She has served in this field. She has gone to this place. And now today, this is what is happening. They could see them as samples. That would have encouraged the youth, and maybe that would have given more open windows for more youth to be involved in the mission. And on a final note, I want to say that the parents have not really helped matters, and the parent in this guy we are talking about, our pastors and our leaders, have not really helped matters, because sometimes when missionaries even visit our church, there is this kind of slogan that they have come and distort our church program. They have come and beg for money. They have come and ask for assistance here and there, not knowing that they are only supporting the missionary, but they see it as a big task, and they tell the church, see, the missionary has come, we should gather money and give to missionaries, as if the missionary is a beggar. And that shouldn't be. That kind of stigmatization, that you look down on the missionary as a beggar or a loafer, or somebody who has no job, somebody who doesn't have any work or doesn't have any future, that dived into the mission work, is a poor person. So if such mentalities are wiped out, I want to believe, with the rate at which mission is going, and we have some very dynamic youths that are coming up, if they can be showcased, and I mean, they can be advertised in our churches, maybe in some programs. You can bring some of these youth who are into digital Bible translation, even who are full-time missionaries on the mission field, and we'll be able to, maybe that will encourage some of our youth to be part and parcel of the mission assignment.
Thank you, Daddy. Sir, as Nema is concerned,
Yeah.
what is Nema doing in scaling the wall of denominational in the body of Christ? Because most of our churches see mission that it is for a specific set of people. It is this specific church that always go on mission. Like we know ECOWAS, that there are these people, they have some missionaries. A lot of recent, the president of my fellowship, which I belonged, Christ Apostolic Church, Pastor Ariel, said, son, you know the kingdom or assignment is not about denominational, it's interdenominational. I want you to move together. Never neglect the team you are moving with. Then, and I could see the passions in which these fathers have, in which I have the understanding that it's because of their background that make them to utter the statement. And likewise, in addition, Christ Apostolic Church Children Ministry, their theme for this year, this half of the year Sunday school to be completed is Christian service and mission. And my question is, what is Nema doing in scaling the world of denomination, so that we will see this assignment, this kingdom project, as a collective task?
Well, I want to thank you very much. The Nigeria Evangelical Missions Association is a networking association and a fellowship forum for Nigerian missions movement, providing resources and a united platform for the Nigerian church for world evangelization. As far back as 1982, leaders of denominations and churches, both Pentecostal, both evangelical, both Anglican, came together to form the Nigeria Evangelical Missions Association. And I remember that the first national chairman for Nema was Baba Panya Baba, the late president of Ekwa Church. And I remember that Nema was a product of NEF, that is Nigeria Evangelical Fellowship, NEF, which has its headquarters in Shau. In fact, it was right there in Shau that Nema was given birth to as the wing of mission body to raise the level of evangelism, mission mobilization, mission technical work, research, and other things at that organization. Presently, Nema has over 158 members, both denomination, churches, and paramission agencies working together. The only issue we are having is the inability of some of these church leaders to nosedive the machinery and the operation of NEMA to their various denominations, to their various branches, and to the local level. The inability for the national leaders, to co-opt their other downsized pastors into the work of NEMA has really been the challenge. Let me give you an example. In Kwara State, we have just about 6 functional churches and mission agencies that are working with us. That is JMC, Tugment, and then UMCA. All other churches have looked at us and they have not responded to what NEMA is doing. I just called one of the church leaders who supported us for the last zonal meeting. That is the General Overseer of Gospel Bearers. That's Reverend Oyetayo. And we spoke at length. Many of our leaders, many of these church leaders are not ready to come up and work with us. The platform has been there and it has always been there. Maybe sometimes you look at it and say, well, maybe because we are not benefiting financially, materially from NEMA. That is why many churches are not associating with NEMA. And like I said, NEMA is not a money-making organization. It's a faith-based organization with the capacity to increase the level of mission awareness. Like I was saying, if you want us to go on and on, that's why you see me here. I wouldn't want a situation where we have organization or agencies or churches organizing a mission conference or a mission awareness program that I am going to exempt myself. I want to be there and be actively involved so that we can trigger the heart of the young ones coming up to be part and parcel of the mission awareness. But we also try as much as possible to empower the church and mission leaders through value added strategic input. Like we have the perspective course, we have the reaching the world of Islam, evangelizing the world of Islam. We have NEMI for training of missionaries. These are facilities and available contact or training opportunities that Nema is offering to the church. But because maybe because Nema is not financially buoyant, but even though we are not financially buoyant, we have connected. We are very much connected to mobilize the church. Yeah, there is no church that I go to that I will not be accepted, will not be received with a good heart to speak to members of the congregation. But the response has been very, very low.
Thank you very much, Daddy. Another aspect I want to ask about is this, sir. How did Nema get the leadership? Is it through formal letter? Because maybe in my own perspective, they did not understand anything about Nema. They did not see and the purpose of Nema. Because I could have most may not have heard anything, because I bless the name of the Lord for the president of Christ Apostolic Church, Pastor Henry Olaiwola Ojo, whom God used. He served in Port Harcourt. So from there, he knew Capro. Even when he became the president of Christ Apostolic Church, the connection between him and Capro, especially Southwest Capro, is very, very tight. So the mission agency that Christ Apostolic Church is partnering with is Capro, which is head by Southwest, head by Pastor Jude. So my question is, are the other denominational
It's
heads get any information about them?
Thank you very much. I want to say that Capro, that is Calvary Missions, is part and parcel of Nema.
Yes, sir.
Is part and parcel of Nema. And I want to remember that some of the key leaders, the earlier key leaders, like I used to know Capro is a very strong mission agency that served Nema at a very tough time. At the initiative, like I said, Nema was established as far back as February 2022, 1982. And we had people who had served Calvary ministry. You see, if I read this to you, and I say, Nema was inaugurated on February 22, 1982, following 3 years of recommendations from WEF, that is the World Evangelical Fellowship Missions Conference Commission in 1979. Reverend Panya Baba Ekwa also made proposal to the Nigeria Evangelical Fellowship in 1980 and discussions on the National Congress on Evangelization in 1981. At the commencement of his ministry later that year, 6 mission agencies, including Evangelical Missionary Society of Ekwa, Calvary Ministry Capro, his Grace Evangelical Movement, Christ Ambassadors Evangelical Movement, and Christian Missionary Foundation, yes, and Community Mission Board, that is Cooking, were all among the founding members. Reverend Panya Baba became the first founding chairman. Like I said, then I wanted to remember Reverend Dr. Ruben Ezemadu.
Wow.
That is for CMF. He is the leader of the CMF. These are people that have served in the leadership of Nema. And up to date, I know that Reverend Dr. Ezemadu still have a very cordial and very thick relationship with Nema, because he now runs his own ministry. And I know that leaders of Capro too are also involved in the mobilization, in the activities of Nema. Normally, at every October and November, we have the National Executive Meeting, which brings all leaders and all members. There is this general meeting, the general conference that comes before the National Executive Meeting, NEC, that comes before that NEC, that gathers every fellowship group from all over Nigeria to Jos. And this year, the next meeting will be holding in Abuja just immediately after the missionary conference retreat that will be holding. After that, they will have the national executive. So most of these leaders, the issue is the inability of individual leadership to sell, to educate their members on the benefit and the work of Nema. That is the major problem. If every pastor working under a ministry or missionary working under a ministry can be educated and know the importance of the work Nema is doing, then they will be able to integrate themselves. But in a situation where you have a very big ministry, a platform that brings people together, but when people are not getting some very important benefit from it, there is every tendency that they look at it. That's one. Secondly, there are some ministry that has become so big and have made themselves independent. I don't want to mention them, but the way you are speaking, you will know that there are some ministry, there are some denominations, there are churches that they see themselves that they can do it alone. And so they run their ministry. Let me give you a very simple, very joking something. A brother was in our conference and perspective class who happens to be the national director of a very big ministry, Pentecostal church. When he came for that training, we gave him all the facilities. Nema took over his accommodation, his feeding, and every other thing, with the mindset that it will be a platform for networking and collaboration. Up to date, since almost about 6 years ago, we have been making effort to get in touch with the brother so that we can repeat the perspective training in their denomination or in their church ministry. Up to date, we have not been able to get any. He only came. So many people come to Nema, get whatever they want to get from Nema, and then they just go because they feel that they are independent, self-sufficient, and they don't need any other person. So that's the problem we are having. Nema is a registered corporate registered organization in Nigeria, and it has a constitution, and it has its board, a board of trustees, it has the board of executive, and it also have wings and structure of management, both at the national, at the state, and even we are trying to get to the local. They would let you know the benefit of it. Nema has helped. Nema Nigeria has helped to establish other evangelical mission associations in almost 34 countries in Africa. And this is the beauty of it, that we may not be able to appreciate, we may not be able to evaluate, we may not be able to value what Nema is doing, but the impact in the pursuit of the mission endeavor has been the paramount thing. And Nema Nigeria has been making breakthroughs in almost every. We have people who want to travel abroad who will come to Nema, give them letter of recommendation. They will travel, they give them visa, and after they have used that platform, they dump it again until when next they still need Nema to come back to Nema. So that's just it.
Thank you very much, Daddy.
Yes,
It's been an interesting session with you.
Thank you.
Live from Monday, we've been blessed already by Daddy's presence, and even up to now, we are very, very grateful for you being among us. Now, Daddy, my question is, okay, what can you say to the youth out there, those that are still thinking about it, or those that have not been able to understand what missions is all about? What is your message to you? Because we understand now that for the finished task to be completed, for we to now come to a point where we now say Maranatha, let Jesus come, that the youth has to be involved. The youth has to be involved. So, sir, what is your message to the youth out there, okay, those that are still contemplating, having second thoughts about missions and the likes?
Well, I want to say that seeing it, he says believing. I have seen it. I have seen how my Christian race has been right from my youthful age. I didn't have the opportunity of having a parent that would pray for me or take me to the church. It was a personal self-initiation. I have been there, I have seen it, and I see that the Lord is good. I have seen that the Lord is faithful. My life is a bundle of testimony. Like I told you yesterday while I was running through the biblical perspective of missions. God has been faithful, and God is playing his own drama, and everybody should key in. Well, to come in is always very easy, but to some they see it as being difficult. I can say to the glory of God today that in the civil service career, I have got to the highest level at a very tender age. Many people will just be going on retirement, maybe 2 weeks to retirement before they will get their level 17. But for the past, I got my level 17 as far back as 2022. And I still have almost about 4 years to go before I go on retirement. I know it is the Lord working and doing it in me. And the testimony is that when you find a faithful man who is doing his job faithfully, he will be rewarded faithfully. And that is why I took it upon myself that, okay, even being a teacher, I remain as a missionary teacher in the system. And the world, the way man has been going, the way places have been going, God has been helping me to place that foothold on brethren, on the school, on the system, on the structure of the school system, that I have been able in the whole of Africa, being one of the contributors to the African magazine on education, as the only principal in the whole of Nigeria to be a contributor to that magazine. Now, that is a just a plus. What I'm just trying to say, now we are talking about the youth. You see, we are in an age that is a computer age.
Yes, sir.
And this computer age has given a level ground to the youth. Because in our own time, in our own period, in our own days, there was nothing like ICT, there was nothing like computer, there was nothing like training, there was nothing like opportunity, there was nothing like bringing the global world into our hand. Are you getting me?
Yes.
But this is available to us. Maybe for some of us, what we will use the handset for is just to receive calls, send messages. At best, we're on WhatsApp. But today, we can see our youth have more means of using the handset far better than many of we the parents. And this is an opportunity that I think that our youth, our Christian youth, should take advantage of. You can do all your business today on the online, right where you are, and you can preach, you can send messages, you are connected. The youth have a way of connecting together. They have a way of building a very strong network, which was not like what it was in our own days. Even those who built these applications, they were to go WhatsApp, Facebook, and many other applications, are young men who are basking stronger and making a lot of things easy, connecting people all over the world. So I don't see any reason why our youth too cannot dispense their energy, they can't dispense their intellect, they can't dispense their resources to ensuring that they are actively involved in this work of mission. My only fear is that after they have been used, maybe as drummers, or maybe as lead vocals, maybe as what can we call them now? All this youthful work that they do in the church, maybe in the technical department, cameraman, and all this. After they have used and they have dumped them, they will discover that their talent has been sunk under the ground. So I want to encourage our youth to come out. Mission is not like it used to be before. Mission is dynamic. Mission is resourcing. Mission is it needs men who can run with the race. You know, there's a scripture that says the vision that is shown to you, say write it boldly, so that others that see it will be able to run with it. Maybe because we the leaders are not seeing it clearly. That is why the youth that are coming behind us are not also seeing it clearly. But I'm praying that as we continue in this area, this idea of gist and other conferences, mobilizing the youth for, I pray that they will be able to key in and they will be able to run the vision that is set ahead for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, we've really been blessed by our daddy. Like I said, this our daddy is the Nema chairman for Kwara State, along Nigeria. Okay, and he has been with us here at GIST Global Ignite Strategy Training, which is being empowered by YAUP, which is Youth Adopt Unreach People Missions. Now, just like our daddy has said, there's always a place for you in God's story. There's always a place for you in God's work. What would you do about it? The love that God has shown unto you, how would you express this love to others? from our daddy's experience coming to us, we've been able to know that there are still people out there that haven't heard about this name called Jesus. That these people out there that they never knew that he came once, not to talk of his second coming. So what will you do? What part will you play? Our daddy have also challenged us. We live in a global, the world is now a global village. Those they were struggling to reach at their own tender age, now with a click on your phone, you can reach those people. Why not pick it up? Why not start now? Because if you don't, someone else will. But then itself, you might not be featured in God's story. Thank you very much, Daddy.
Thank you very much.
We are really blessed having you in our midst.
Thank you very much.
And we hope that this experience, as you guys are living, as our daddy leaves the scene, that this baton will be handed on to faithful men that can also run with it. Really appreciate your presence. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm very, very grateful. It's a big, good opportunity. Thank you.
G's 24.
Going to the nations.